Hey everybody, you came for today's and this week's Tuesday Tip It 2 with me, Danielle J. Mitchell, your up and coming queen of real estate. And I'm here for another one and I'm excited. I'm super excited. So last week, let's do a little housekeeping. Last week, I was on vacation, so I did a little bit of replay, and it was a good replay. I think that sets us up for today. Because some of the things I'm going to talk about today are things that you've heard me talk about a lot, especially as of lately. Okay. So some of these things will sound very familiar, which is fine. Because I feel like a lot of time, number one, you have different people watching different videos and everything like that. So, for those who are newer to the channel or newer to my content, it'll be you guys' first time hearing it. But if you're not newer and you've been listening, a steady watcher, it is not, these things will sound very familiar. So, I was inspired. I like to talk about a little bit how I was inspired for this week's topic because, you just hear a lot. Today's episode just inspired me from hearing people, whether it's other real estate professionals, whether it is, clients, whether it's just people in general. Some of these, things that I have today, these myths, are things I hear from literally real estate professionals, whether lenders, whether actual, realtors, from clients, as well as, potential clients or just, people in general and their take on the market. So I'm here to be a myth buster. Okay. I'm here to be a myth buster. And as somebody who is in this market, who is trying to navigate it, work through it, I want to share, what I've experienced, and hopefully it helps somebody. Okay. So let's get started. Now, what are some myths about the market? So one of the myths is that, you hear this from buyers, you'll hear other people advise other people, people who, okay. So you'll hear other people advise other people, or people who have seen their friends or family member go through this. All right. We'll say it's too much competition, right? You can't get a house. All right. So I've heard of clients or people that, people know and stuff like that. They're like, oh, a friend of mine had a hard time, it's taking them 6 months, or they still haven't found something yet. It's been 6 months. It's been a year. They put in 82 offers. It hadn't worked. So a lot of people will be like, is it a good time to buy? Yes, it is still a good time to buy. Is there competition? Yes. Yes, there is. But you can't base that off of another person's experience. I've experienced this myself. I just experienced this past weekend. I went out with my clients after one day of showings, seeing 5 houses, and we were able to secure and get a house under contract. Is that going to happen for everybody? No. It's not the first time it's happened to me as a real estate professional. But other times with other clients, it's been some time, right? So it really depends. It's so many factors that go into house hunting. And I feel like a lot of times people will base their experience off of other people, and you can't do that. The details to what they're looking for, what market they're looking in, how much their pre-approval is, how much savings they have, where their credit, all of these different determining factors that go into buying a house could be completely different for yourself. Okay. So you cannot base, you cannot use someone else's experience to fuel and steer how you're going to approach buying a house. Okay. Or how you approach selling a house. Right? So you may hear, oh, My cousin, my brother, my sister, my neighbor, their house sold in 2.5 seconds. Mine is going to do the same. It might, or yeah, I heard a neighbor of mine, they got 50 over asking. They got $30,000 over asking. Yours might do that, but it may also not do that. So one of the things I say often is managing your expectations. Okay. You cannot base, your experience is off of somebody else's experiences. Okay. So that's one thing. Too much competition. No, I'm not going to buy a house, right? Or on the selling side, yes, it's too much competition. So I'm going to get, a whole bunch of money. Yeah, maybe. That may be true. At the very least, you'll get asking price, right? That's the hope. So one of the other things that you hear, one of the myths out there, listen, don't even think about checking off inspection contingencies. Nobody's doing inspection contingencies. You're not going to get an offer accepted with inspection contingencies. Not true. It's a myth. Now, is that a strategy that can help you win a house? Yes. But are there sellers still accepting people's offers with an inspection contingency? Yes. The last 2 deals that are under contract has accepted the inspection contingencies. Have I done deals with no inspection contingencies? Very few. Yes, but very few. I think only 1, maybe 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. But but very few. Okay? So it's a myth that no, don't expect to get an inspection done. Expect to waive it. Yes, you might have to. You might have to. It is a possibility. But is that the only thing that is going to help you secure a house? No. No. No and no and no. You can still have your inspection contingency safely secured. Okay. Another one. This is number 3. No, forget about appraisal contingency. Forget about it. You're not going to get it. Okay. Waive your appraisal contingency. This is what's happening in the market. Everybody's waiving the appraisal contingency. Or you can't secure a house if you don't waive it. Not true. Just not true. Most times I feel like that, to me, waiving, unless you're just plain old paying cash, and even still I don't agree. To me, that appraisal is the last line of defense. It's your last out. So a lot of people, yes, they are putting in bids and waiving the inspection or the appraisal contingency, but most people are not. Okay. And there are bids and offers still being won with you keeping the appraisal contingency intact. All right. So that's a myth. Another myth, what number are we on? 4. Another myth is there's no grants. There's no help out there. The Philly home buying grant was not the only grant out there. There are other grants. Look at my archives, Tuesday Tip at 2 archives. There are other grants out there. Whether it's a grant, whether it's lender credit, there are other things out there to help you. Okay, as far as programs, there is FHA. No seller wants that. Throw it in the trash. You can only, if you have a conventional loan, that's the only way you're gonna win a bid on a house. That's the only way you're gonna win an offer. Not true. FHA is way too strict. It's frowned upon. All those different things. It's not true. FHA is not as strict as people think. FHA, if needed, is a great program for home buyers. If you need that program, if you need that 3.5% down, if your credit score makes for you to need it, it is a great program. It is a great loan package. So you can get an offer accepted with an FHA. With one. All right. Now, is conventional better? If you have the choice, okay, of going FHA over going conventional, or should I say vice versa, if you have the choice of going conventional over FHA. And, sure, go for it. Go for it. It's helpful. It might edge you out a little bit if you're in a bidding circumstance. But again, I think most of my buyers, and I've had buyers who were able to choose between a conventional and a FHA, but most of my buyers have won and secured a home with a FHA. And the appraisal and all that stuff is not so strict. A lot of people think it's strict because FHA going to require the seller to do all these different repairs and stuff. If it's a solid home, you'll be just fine. I feel like the most annual thing FHA requires is just making sure you have banisters for steps, and making sure like the little spindles or whatever, the in between, are not too far spaced apart. Other than that, you're fine. You gotta go. Listen, you cannot put in no less than 20 or 30,000 over asking. You're not gonna win a house. Lies and fables. Not true. Not true. Not true. You don't have to. And now, is it common? Yes. Is it happening a lot? Heck yeah. Yes, it is happening a lot. But that's it doesn't mean that you have to do that. You can go in 10 over and still win an offer. You can go in 5 offer and win an offer. You can go in with asking and win an offer. So, coming in with the mindset that now it is wise, if your budget, if you're pre-approved for 250, it is wise to not look for houses over 225. 230, the most 240, because you do want to have that wiggle room to be competitive. Okay, so I would say 240 max. You should really be looking at, if you're looking at something right at your budget, it should be on the market for like 30 days. You know what I mean? Because you should be fine with going in and asking. But in a situation like that, to come out the gate and just be like, I know I have to go in at no less than $30,000 over, that's not necessarily the case. To have that wiggle room is excellent in case you need to, but you don't necessarily have to. Okay. My favorite and last one. Ain't nobody giving out seller's assist. I gotta say ain't nobody, because that's really what it is. Ain't nobody nobody. Seller's assist is gone. Seller's assist is played out. It got played out in 2018. It got played out in 2019. Not true. Not true. I feel like most of my clients this year have gotten seller's assist as recently as this past weekend. Most of them have gotten seller's assist. Some have not done the seller's assist, but some have. It just depends. Seller's assist is possible, ladies and gentlemen. Now, can you struggle with needing seller's assist? Yeah, you might. It might take a little bit longer. You might have to adjust expectations. You might have to just do some things to manage. But all it takes is one house, one yes, one deal. That's all it takes. And you can be in your home. All right. I want to say all that to say, all these myths that I'm talking about, it's not that these things are not occurring. It's not that these things are not, strategies. It's not that these things are even false. But I feel like to come into buying a house with the assumption like this is definitive, and so this now rules me out of being able to buy a house. This is what I don't want for people to think, because that's not true. This is not. So I mean myth as in it's not true that you now cannot qualify or not be able to buy a house because these things are happening. Yeah, these things are happening. That's very true. But there are still ways to overcome it. There are still ways and strategies to be able to acquire some of these benefits, and it can happen. I'm just here to tell you that it is possible, it is probable, and that it can happen. You can get a home and still have an inspection contingency, appraisal contingency. You can still get seller's assist. You can still get grant help. You can still, but even with competition, you can still secure a house. People are buying, securing their homes every single day. So even you can still buy with the FHA loan. It doesn't have to be conventional. You can still do these things. So I feel like a lot of times people hear stuff and then, honestly, it incites fear. It seems, the idea seems unattainable, right? When people start hearing these kinds of things. And I'm here to tell you, no. In spite of all the craziness, all the competitiveness, all the stuff that's going on, it can still happen for you. That's the bottom line of today's and this week's Tuesday Tip or Two, to encourage you and let you know it can still happen for you, even with all that's going on out there. Listen, this is what I need you guys to do. I need you to go and subscribe. I need you to like. I need you to share. Okay, I need you to do all of the above. If this is helping you, listen, please come on, show some love. Just share it out. I appreciate it. If this could help somebody that that's possibly looking, please send this to them. Send them my information. Come on, it's down there. Okay, book your consultation today. All right, you can go to book.djmrealtyco.com. book.djrealtyco. Wait, what did I say? book.djmrealtyco.com. Remember, there's no place like home. There's no place like home buying. That is all for today's and this week's Tuesday Tip or Two. Bye.